Good morning, guys. It is Monday, April the 20th, and we are beginning our fifth week already of online learning. I hope everything is going well for you guys. Remember, if you need anything at all, please reach out to me on Dojo or my email. I will be more than happy to bring you Play-Doh or scissors, or this week we're going to talk about a coloring book, so I would be happy to pick any of those things up for you that I could. Remember, we always start our sessions by seeing who's here. So, what's your name? I hope most of you can do your first name at least, maybe your first and last. How old are you? Are you 3 or 4 or 5? And are you a boy or a girl? I'm a girl. So, if you guys have mastered all that, you can think about where do you go to school, or maybe what grade are you going to be in August. That would be something to start thinking about. You can teach them your name, parents, your first names. That's a thought. Just any sort of personal information is a great thing to review. Today we are going to talk about sharing and taking turns. There are all sorts of good books out there or videos you can see on YouTube that review social skills. So that's something that as an OT I support in the schools, those social goals that we have for a lot of students. And sharing and taking turns is something that doesn't really come naturally to any child. So this is something that I thought would be cool for us to think about today. And I actually had a good book on the topic. Sharing and taking turns. So let's see what we can learn today. It is fun to play and imagine. Sometimes when I play, I want what other people have, or they want what I have. I know a way we can get along. We can share. One way to share is to divide things. Another way to share is to use things together. Playing together can be more fun than playing alone. Trading is also a way to share. My friend can use what I have while I use what my friend has. Taking turns is a way of sharing too. When we can't use something at the same time, I can wait for my turn. I can also share things that I know. And I can share special things about me, like things I can make and do. When I help someone, I share my time. I might offer to share, or another person might offer to share. Sometimes I ask a friend to share. I'm glad when someone shares with me. It makes me happy. Look at that, she's smiling. If the person says no, I can do something else. It's not always easy to share. I might have something that is special to me. I might not want to share it, or I may not feel ready to share. That's okay. I can choose not to share, or offer to share later, or share something else. Sometimes I decide to share even though it is hard for me. When I share or take turns, I'm being generous. I'm learning to make good choices. I'm learning to think about others. No matter where I am or who I'm with, there are special ways that I can share. The end. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about sharing for just a minute. What sharing is not that your child is supposed to hand over everything they have to someone else. Nobody wants to do that, and we don't do that as adults. We don't share a lot of things. So what sharing is, it involves more of taking turns. And a good way to enforce this or reinforce this would even be with a timer. You play with this for 1 minute, and then I'll play with it for 1 minute. And you can use your trusty timers on your phone that we've already talked about. There's just the regular timer in your phone, or that countdown timer that has an app that's free. Those are great. And also, when your child does share, you can offer really descriptive praise, like, "Look how happy Sally is that you gave her your truck," something like that. So those are just a couple of tips. Another thing with games with young children, it's not always about a winner as they're really young, like 3 and 4. It's better to do things that are cooperative, like maybe making something out of Legos, or playing a game with a ball. You don't want to necessarily start working on those singular winner concepts until the child's a little bit older. I have some students that need to work on that, but some young children might not be ready for that. So just think of sharing more as taking turns, and discourage your child from like taking all the cars or all the animals or whatever, and just like sitting there and hoarding them to him or herself. That's what we see a lot with children. So hope that is helpful. Like I said, you can get books, you can see things online under social stories or video modeling. You can find just about any concept that you want. All right, and then my tip for today, in addition to the sharing idea, is we're going to look at a cool way to use a coloring book. You can use any page out of a coloring book. You don't even have to color it. Some of my children don't like to color, so you could just use a plain paper. I did actually color a page. It was lots of fun to demonstrate this lesson. In my older group, I already did this, and I actually cut the picture into 8 pieces. So you can modify the activity to make it simple or to make it more complex. Since this is for my preschool students, we're just going to go with the picture, and I'm going to cut it into 4 pieces. So I'm just going to go. You basically are making a puzzle out of a picture, which some kids might not want you to cut what they have colored. So in that case, you could go with a page out of a coloring book that's not colored yet. But it's a little easier to do if it's colored already. So you cut the page into 4 pieces, 6 pieces, 8 pieces, 3 pieces, 2 pieces, depending on the ability level. And then you put the pieces back together. So you have basically just made a puzzle. Ta-da! I'll turn it around so you can see. Isn't that neat? I had read about that and actually had an activity page I was going to do with some of my students that you colored and then cut the page into 3. So it's coloring, cutting, then it's using those visual perceptual skills to reassemble what you have done. So that's my tip for today. I wanted to highlight my fine motor suggestions and my heavy work suggestions. Remember, when you are cutting or coloring, watch your grip. Remember, Miss Trish always says, fix your grip. Remember, when you're cutting, that your thumb is the boss. It should be on top. You can mark the thumb or even put a small sticker on your thumb if you need that reminder. And I'll use the key phrase, open, close, open, close, open, close, to help with those cutting skills. Remember, this is a great time to practice adaptive skills like dressing yourself, undressing yourself, working on buttoning and unbuttoning, working on shoes and socks off and on, and also thinking about those nighttime routines. I had a parent reach out. They had actually were working with their child on washing their hair. So I thought that was great. There's a lot of steps that go into that, but if you line up the things that are needed, maybe on the side of the tub or in the shower, that would be something that your child could learn to do for him or herself, which would be great. And then always remember to think about heavy work. The weather's getting nice outside, so I hope you're getting outside and running around your house, playing on playground equipment, climbing up the ladder is great for those, for your muscles. If your child cannot swing him or herself, this is a great time to Maybe spend a little extra practice on that. That's a great skill of childhood that they need. Same with learning to pedal. If you have a tricycle or bicycle with training wheels, to learn to pedal. I know Miss Barbara, our physical therapist, would be all about that. Remember, you can do wall push-ups. Remember, you can do chair push-ups. Remember to use your timer when you're working. Just work in short increments of time. Use that first, then concept. First work, then play. Remember, you can also pull or push someone or something around your house on a towel or a blanket, just anything you can think of to get out a little bit of energy. On Thursdays, my tips have to do with sensory motor ideas. I hope you'll check those out. I'm going to continue that throughout our break. I've been doing like animal crawls, different types of animal things like gorilla walks or alligator push-ups, things like that. And I'm also just going to do some general physical education type activities. So hope you'll check those out, and I hope you have a wonderful week. As always, reach out if you have any questions or concerns, and I will see you tomorrow for your Tuesday tip of the day. Bye-bye.